Wyoming Congresswoman Harriet Hageman faced a series of angry questions during a town hall event this week in Casper, where several residents criticized her response to the recent killings in Minneapolis at the hands of ICE and other federal officers. I'm Dustin Blyzeffer, climate and energy reporter at WyoFile, and here's what happened. Hageman allotted 1 hour for the town hall event, and she used the first 30 minutes to recap a long list of accomplishments, including securing millions of dollars for Wyoming priorities. During the question and answer portion of the event, exchanges got heated. A Casper College student implored the Congresswoman to acknowledge the tragedy of the Minnesota killings.
I'm a student here at CC, and I was here at your last town hall back in August. You mentioned Lake and Riley. However, you did not mention today either of the people who were killed in Minnesota recently. Why is that?
About 10 times in the back.
In August, I was describing the Lake and Riley Act that we had passed earlier in the year. And
That's not the question. Why haven't you?
Yes,
why
yes,
haven't
no,
you
let me answer
mentioned?
the
No.
question.
Why haven't
Let
you
me
mentioned
answer
either of the people
question.
killed in Minnesota?
Let me answer the question.
Why
That's
haven't you
the
answered
question.
that?
Tensions continued to escalate, including among audience members, and Hageman repeatedly asked to not be interrupted.
Let me answer the question. I spoke about Lake and Riley because it was one of the bills that we passed. I haven't talked about what was going on in Minnesota.
Yeah, why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that?
Why don't you tell me what you'd like me to say about it?
Why haven't you said that you condemn the violence or given condolences to the families of the victims?
Whoa, okay.
Explain, please. That's my question.
Explain. It hasn't been the topic that we've been talking about today. What you want me to say? Here's what I will say. I think what has happened in Minnesota.
I'm asking you a question.
Stop interrupting me. So I think what has happened in Minnesota is a terrible tragedy for the woman and the man who were killed.
What were their names?
Yeah, what were their names? What were their names?
Who killed them?
Renée
And
and
mask
Alex.
fraud. Walt, who killed them?
That's the first you mentioned their names.
What? Okay. Thank you for the question.
What? Are you kidding me?
No, absolutely not. Get out of here. That's all false.
Still, many in attendance insisted she wasn't directly responding to questions. One woman pressed Hageman on alleged violations of Fourth Amendment protections at the hands of ICE.
I have two questions. The first, I would just like a simple yes or no answer for. So, Representative Hageman, do you support and uphold the Constitution in your work?
Why don't you just ask your questions? Of course I uphold the Constitution.
Why, then, have you not spoken out against the Fourth Amendment violations that ICE officers and Border Patrol officers are currently engaging in by breaking into people's homes without a warrant? There were leaks from different DHS employees.
I don't know that I trust your facts.
This was a memo. Government memo.
Documentation and memos that instructed ICE agents to enter homes without considering the Fourth Amendment. Right. It is all over the internet. It came from DHS employees. So what do you have to say about that constitutional violation?
I think that I have to look at the investigation and
Pay attention.
if someone's constitutional rights, there is redress.
Why? And why is there no redress? And you're really big about transparency. I see it in your emails. You talk about it all the time. Why are you not calling for transparency with what these people are doing? ICE, DHS, Border Patrol, they are violating people's constitutional rights. They are killing American citizens in the streets, and you are doing nothing. You are not saying a single solitary thing to support constituents or to support the American people. As a constitutional lawyer, you should be infuriated. You should be incensed. Why are you not?
All right. Good question.
Receiving the results.
There has been no investigation, and they are not doing any
Coward.
investigation.
Oh, what a coward. You chicken shit.
All told, the event wrapped up about 5 minutes early, with about a dozen people still in line to ask her questions. You can read the full story at WyoFile.com, subscribe to our newsletter, or or download our app to follow along for more, and please let us know what you think in the comments.